Hello Cove Dwellers, I hope you've all been well. In this video I will be discussing, talking to you. I suppose I can't really discuss it with you at the moment considering I'm just talking to you at a camera, but you know. More or less I'll be talking about the term entry level in regards to music. I'm not talking about, entry level jobs or anything, but the term entry level in regards to music and the negative association with the term. Now, the definition, I have it on my phone here. I actually have a phone again, holy shit. I know I mentioned this in like 6 months ago, but I lost my phone since then, and now I have another phone thanks to my brother. The definition of entry level is of a product suitable for a beginner or first time user or basic. So, lately I have been observing the fact that entry level has been used as an insult. In regards to people talking about music. I don't personally see it as an insult, more of a description of the kind of music. Examples of an entry-level band would be perhaps Evanescence. That seems to be an entry-level band for those just beginning with either goth or metal. Entry-level bands are more or less very commercially popular bands that people tend to find when they're first getting into a genre. Now, there seems to be a stigma around liking entry-level bands when you are trying to come across as somebody who's only into the obscure and rah rah rah. And now, as somebody who is into fairly obscure music of varying genres, I still like entry-level bands. I still like shit like Red Hot Chili Peppers and shit like that, like Nirvana and rah 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 rah. You know what I'm getting at. Though it has been used as an insult, especially in the metal community. I mean, you see it in the goth community, but I see it mainly in the metal community. Not in real life, might I add. This kind of behaviour doesn't generally happen when people are legitimately in these kinds of scenes. In real life, when you're out at gigs and shit like that, nobody actually cares about this shit. It seems to be a phenomenon that's happening mainly online, which is a shame because people being, given shit for liking entry-level bands, two things can happen. The first thing is they realise that everyone who's into that genre of music is giving them shit for everyone. It's not actually, it's usually the worst kind of people that are the loudest. So that's what I'm trying to say. They're the people that'll spurt their opinions without actually being very decent people. There is nothing wrong with liking entry-level bands at all. But people who get into the entry-level bands, get into a genre, are often shitted on because for liking said bands, which could lead to them having no incentive to have any further involvement in the scene that is part of that genre, which is a shame because there is so much good music, and if people can just get past that entry-level phase, not to say that they have to stop liking these bands, by the way, but I'll get to that later. Yeah, they could just lose all interest in the genre because they think that everyone's a dick. It's only the people who are loudest that tend to be the dicks. Most people don't really give a shit if you like fucking, I don't know, Motionless in White or something. Like, I'm personally not a fan, but, fucking to each their own. It's not a big fucking deal. People shouldn't make it a big deal. The second thing that can happen is that they all start to listen to very obscure bands, which is great. Not so well-known bands get further into the genre, but then they'll start to become the people shitting on everyone else because they feel that that's the only way they can be a true band of that genre, which I think is ridiculous. There is no need to shun the entry level to validate your own knowledge of the music or the genre. It's a sad happening that happens. Sorry, words. I haven't really got an outline for this either. As in the last video, I didn't have an outline, so there's a lot of rambling. But it is something that happens, and I feel like it needs to be said that there is nothing wrong with liking commercially popular bands. People are going to say that, you're a poser or something like that for liking these bands, but those people are just insecure as fuck, to be honest. Like, if you honestly feel like you need to shit on someone for liking a very popular band, you can get fucked. Like, it's just completely unnecessary. People can like whatever they fucking want to like. It's not something that, it's not a, you either like obscure bands or you're a fucking poser. That's not the way the world works. That's not the way it should work. And if you're trying to perpetuate that fucking idea, you need to get a grip of reality. The reason that these bands are so popular and well liked is generally because they're easy to listen to. They are pleasant to listen to. That's usually why it is. Are there a shit ton of entry-level bands that I don't like? Of course there are, because I'm not going to like everything. Is there a shit ton of obscure bands that I think are just fucking rubbish? Of course there are. That doesn't make me more or less into that genre. It doesn't make me more informed about a genre to shit on the more commercially popular bands or whatever. It's just completely unnecessary. Like the idea that you can't be a metalhead if you listen to pop music. That's rubbish. I don't personally listen to a whole lot of pop music, but that is just because I don't generally like most of it. There is some pop music that I do dig though. I can't, off the top of my head, think of fucking Florence and the Machine. She has a beautiful fucking voice. Like, is there anything wrong with that? There shouldn't be. I don't understand why you need to shit on something to make yourself feel better. It's just this whole, you know, mentality of you need to be the epitome. Again, I keep bringing this up in videos because I'm passionate about it. You don't need to shit on other people to be the epitome of something. You are never going to be the epitome of anything. That's just the way the world works. I'm sorry to tell you, but you are not, you know, king of said genre, queen of said genre. You're not, you know, some special, you know, all-knowing being because you are good at making people feel like shit. You know, I've gone completely off, you know, on a tangent of, like, rage, almost. It's not really rage, it's more like general dislike, but, you know, fucking hell, calm down. It's okay. You don't need to be a wanker to enjoy a genre, or to be well-informed about a genre. You'll find the people that know the most obscure things and genuinely like these bands, not just tell everyone they know about them, are the people that are more introducing people to the bands rather than telling people that they're rubbish because they don't listen to such and such band or whatever. People are more likely to get into that kind of music if you welcome them in rather than pressure them in, if that makes any sense. There is no need to be a cunt, alright? And this is from somebody who often calls herself one. Like, you don't need to be a cunt. There is no... Okay, I'm kind of getting off topic, not really, but, you know, I'm kind of just going into a stirp thing that can it be frustrating when somebody has no interest in finding out more bands or whatever other than the entry level? Yeah, it can be, because there is so much good music out there, but that doesn't mean that you need to shit on them. That's their fucking choice. I don't understand why you feel this need to feel superior. Now, before anybody says anything, it's not talking about one person, this is just me, you know, you just see it in all of these. It's specifically in Facebook groups and forums that you see shit like this. So yeah, most of this is online rubbish. People in real life, who go to these gigs and shit, don't actually care for the majority, for the most part rather. So yeah, I just felt like this video had to be made because there seems to be this idea that you aren't allowed to like things that other people like. It's like that fucking Metalocalypse episode where they go to this music store in Norway and the guy's like plays them a vinyl and it's like, what did you think? And then they're like, yeah, it's okay. And then he's like, then I hate it. You know? Has anybody seen that fucking episode? Sorry, I'm talking about Metalocalypse now. Metalocalypse is another one. Apparently, you can't take yourself seriously as a metalhead if you legitimately like Metalocalypse because it was so commercially popular and so popular with so many people. Fuck off, dude. Fuck off. Okay? But yeah, as I was saying, this isn't to anybody in particular. Most people I know, I'd say about 99% of the people I know personally, are not like this at all, in any way. And about 70% of the people I know are musicians in either goth or metal bands. So, what do you What are you gonna fucking do, mate? Like, it's not necessary to be a wanker. That's all I'm really trying to say. The term entry level should not be an insult. It should be just a way to define the, it should just be a way to define what that kind of music is, in a way. Even then, like, it's, look, all I'm trying to say is that entry level needn't be an insult, alright? It needn't be something to look down on. It doesn't need to be like some sort of shunned group of bands that, you know, oh, they did well popularity wise and therefore they are rubbish. It doesn't need to be that way. There are a lot of bands that are fucking rubbish, in my opinion, that are very commercially popular because it's this music technique called hooks. I don't know if many of you have done music theory or anything, but yeah, there's a way that you can make rubbish music and have people still like it, but there's nothing wrong with liking that music, okay? There's nothing wrong with liking rubbish. I'm getting completely off track. What I'm trying to say is entry level should not be an insult. If you're using it as an insult to another person, you can go and fuck yourself. I'm sorry. It's not an insult. It's just a way to explain bands that are generally found when people are first coming into a genre of music. So, you know, if you're telling a kid that they're, you know, a fucking poser because they like Marilyn Manson, you can go and fuck yourself. I'm probably swearing too much in this, but that's what happens when I become passionate about a subject. Anyway, I think I might leave it at that. This is a bit of a rant now. It was not intended to be a rant, more of an informative video, but here we are, and it is ranty. So I'll probably leave it there. It could be the hot weather that's making me relatively dickish, but deal with it. Yeah, alright. Until next time, Cove Dwellers, be good people. Like, just be a nice person. If you want someone to find more music in a genre, show them the music. Maybe don't shit on them for not knowing as many bands as you do. It's not, you don't pop fresh out the womb knowing every fucking band there is to know. So just, you know, all you can do is show them music. If they don't want to listen to it, that's not your fucking problem. Alright? Anyway, now I'm actually going to leave it there. All links to my social media are in the description, and I hope you all have a lovely fucking day, and motherfuckers, goodbye. Fuck, how do you end videos? I don't know how to do this thing. Ugh, bye.